All right, here. Today I'm going to give y'all my NFL Week 16 power rankings. I'm going to start from number 32 and work my way up to number 1. But let's get started.
Ryan Priest, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
All right, here. Starting off at the number 32 position, it is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars at 1-13. Jacksonville started off the 2020 campaign with an impressive win in Week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts, and they built up a lot of momentum for Week 2's game against the Tennessee Titans. They played a hard game there, but they ultimately got beat, and things were still looking good for Week 3. They played Miami. Miami at this time was pretty bad, I guess you can say, and they got beat by Miami. They got crushed by them, actually, and since then things have gone south. And Jacksonville at 32 seems pretty fair. And plus, I want to add, I don't think they'll win a game for the rest of the year. But there you go, Jacksonville at 32. At 31, it is going to be the other 1-13 team, and it is the New York Jets. The Jets finally won a game this year, and that was against the Los Angeles Rams. No one expected this to happen. A lot of people expected, including myself, for the Rams to blow away the Jets like the Seahawks did a week before. But the Rams overlooked the Jets and they got beat. And that was ridiculous. And you'll see how far I dropped the Rams in my power rankings. So the Jets at 31. At 30, it will belong to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals upset the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 15 this past weekend on Monday night to improve to 3-10-1. There's no way they're going to make the playoffs by any means, but they will want to end the season off on a high note, and I think they will. There's a good chance that they could win another game or so. But yeah, things are looking good for Cincinnati in the future. They get Joe Burrow back next year, and they're going to have a high draft pick, obviously, and I would expect them to pick up an offensive lineman to protect Joe Burrow. And I know it's going to be a long time from now, but the Bengals will be set in a couple years from now. But at 29, it is going to go to the 4-10 Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are a weird team. One weekend, Teddy Bridgewater will play extremely well. Other week, he will suck. And McCaffrey is a big part of this team, and he's been hurt lately. So I'm putting them at 29. At 28, it is going to be the other 4-10 team, and it is the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta played probably, in my opinion, their best game this whole year this past weekend against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They did not finish this game off, but they started this game extremely well and put Tampa Bay, a playoff team, behind the, I guess you can say, behind the bars early on, and Tampa Bay eventually came back and won this game. So I'm giving it credit to Atlanta, moving them to 28. At 27, it will be the 4-10 Houston Texans. Houston, I think, it's a really interesting team. They're really talented, really young, but they have no general manager and no head coach set for next year. I saw when they interviewed Jim Caldwell. That would be a great hire. But I think they really need to consider Romeo Crennel at the head coaching position. He's doing good there, but he needs to have a draft or two to get this team going in the right direction. Bill O'Brien pretty much set this whole organization on fire. So Houston at 27, in my opinion, seems pretty fair. At 26, it will belong to the 5-9 Detroit Lions. At number 25, it will belong to the Denver Broncos at 5-9. At 24, it will belong to the San Francisco 49ers. And San Francisco, what happened to them? Last year, they went to the Super Bowl and nearly won. And since then, they haven't done much. And they got beat by Dallas this past weekend. Dallas beating San Francisco. This is a weird year. But there you go. San Francisco at 24. At 23, it will belong to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers had a big win this past weekend on the road. Justin Herbert came in clutch in overtime with a rushing touchdown. And they won the game 30-27. So I moved up the Chargers to 23. Time to give them some credit, especially the young quarterback, Justin Herbert. At 22, it will belong to the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-9-1. I know this might be a little high for a 4-win team, but Jalen Hurts could lead this franchise and team into a playoff spot. They got to win out. They need some help, obviously. But the playoff hopes are still alive. But if they lose this weekend to Dallas, all bets are off. They will not make the playoffs in 2020. So this is a big-time game this upcoming weekend for Philly. At 21, it will belong to the New York Giants at 5-9. At number 20, yes, I'm going to say this. At number 20, it is going to be the Dallas Cowboys at 5-9. Dallas right now is on a 2-game winning streak. They started off beating the Cincinnati Bengals, who just recently beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they crushed the 49ers, or by a touchdown, I guess you could say, but they played extremely well. And things are looking good for them. This weekend, they get a big test and work cut out for them against Jalen Hurts. If they can beat them, I'm pretty sure they can win in Week 17. And things are going to get interesting. They play the Giants, and who knows, Dallas could win out and have some help and still make the playoffs. So Dallas at 20. At 19, it will belong to the New England Patriots at 6-9 or 6-8. At 18, it will belong to the Las Vegas Raiders at 7-7. And at number 17, it is going to belong to my favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings. They just suck. There's no other way to say it. The Vikings need a lot of help. They're going to have some good draft picks this year. They're really young, I know, but man, they're struggling on the defensive side of the ball. There's no pressure up front, and the DBs are really young. Linebacker core is too injured. Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr, they haven't been playing often. Anthony Barr ain't playing for the rest of the year. So they're really young, and they need a lot of help. And I expect them to have a great draft this year. Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook are the only two bright spots of this team. But Minnesota at 17. At number 16, it will belong to the Washington football team at 6-8. At 15, it will belong to the Chicago Bears at 7-7. Chicago, they are a really good team. The way they played this past weekend is just as good as, I wouldn't go on a limb and say Kansas City playing material, but I would say somewhere around the Miami Dolphins potential. They're a really good team when they want to be. So Chicago at 15 seems pretty fair. It might be a little low, though. At 14, it will be the Arizona Cardinals at 8-6. And I want to mention, if the Cardinals do win this upcoming weekend against the San Francisco 49ers, it will officially eliminate the Minnesota Vikings from playoff contention. But next, at 13, it will be the Los Angeles Rams, and they are a big disappointment. They got beat by the Jets, so they do not belong in the top 10 for this weekend's power rankings. At 12, it will belong to the Indianapolis Colts at 10-4. At number 11, it is going to go to the Baltimore Ravens at 9-5. At number 10, it will belong to the Cleveland Browns at 10-4. And they can still win the North. They're one game out. They play the Steelers in Week 17. And things are going to get interesting. It might come down to that game. But there you go. At number 9, you got the Miami Dolphins. At number 8, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers. And yes, I'm saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 8. That might be a little low, but I dropped them down since they got beat by Cincinnati. That is uncalled for, and that's terrible. It makes me wonder what's going on there. But at number 7, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At number 6, I got the Tennessee Titans at 10-4. At number 5, I got the Seattle Seahawks. At number 4, I got the New Orleans Saints. At number 3, I got the Green Bay Packers at 11-3. And now to my top 2. Starting off at number 2, it is going to be the 11-3 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo has come on strong as of lately. Josh Allen and company, the offense has been playing extremely well. This past weekend, they put up some ridiculous numbers against the Denver Broncos defense. I know it's the Broncos defense, but they look really good this past weekend. And I think they can be the team that can knock down the Chiefs come playoff time. But the Bills at 2, and at number 1, obviously, the 13-1 Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs right now are the best team in the NFL. There's only a couple teams right now that I think can hang with them in a game, and that's the Bills and Packers and maybe the Saints again. Drew Brees is rusty, but it's still going to be good when he comes back to full potential, like playing potential, I guess you can say. But there you go. Those are all of my NFL Week 16 power rankings. Everybody comment down below if you agree or disagree with any of my predictions.